What's up, everybody? Welcome to Ask Kinda Funny Anything for June 2017. I am your host, Greg Miller. And if you're not familiar with this segment, it's quite simple, ladies and gentlemen. Over at patreon.com/kindafunny, we have a tier you can subscribe to. You get a whole bunch of content early. That's right. You can watch us do the Game Over Greg show live. You can get party mode. Well, that's actually on a different one. Put that out of your head. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about party mode. Stop it. Don't look at it. Don't think about party mode anymore. You get Game Over Greggy show. You can watch us record it live. You can get it early. You get all the other shows we do early, such as Kinda Funny Doodles, the upcoming Cooking with Greggy. I haven't even drank a beer yet. Anyways, you subscribe over there. You get to ask questions at the beginning of the month. Then at the end of the month, I answer them, or whoever's going to be on the AMA answers them. We put up this video, and all the people on YouTube see your name when I say it. I guess they hear your name. Shut your eyes. They hear your name. They don't see anything except me and this wall of Kinda Funny. And then everybody has a good time. And then hopefully more people go to Patreon and they subscribe to us. And then we have more questions next time. And we keep going. But that's the gist. We switch the host. But it's me. It's me. Kevin, how's that feel? You like that? It's me, Kevin. You're always here too, Kevin. But they don't ask you the questions.
Yeah, it's really something special.
Are you angling one day for questions to be asked to you, Kevin? Do you want people?
Maybe. I don't know. That just feels like a lot of...
Whoever's doing it next month, I don't care who it says is there, ask Kevin a question. Because you know Kevin's going to be over there running the board. Maybe throw in a Cool Greg one, too. We'll call Cool Greg in the room.
Fun fact to interrupt you're about to start.
Go ahead. I don't mind.
I'm going to have me, Greg, and Andy start doing the...
Fan mail.
So that's cool.
I like how you did this.
That's it. Well,
I knew what it was.
They see it. I'm little,
do they see it? Oh, I don't have the view of you.
Little Kev's right here.
Oh, you're on my water. Okay,
Yeah.
I do see it now. Then they didn't see this and know what that meant.
Yeah, no, they did. Yeah, see,
Look, that could be anything.
No.
Kids are watching this on their phone, Kevin. That's you're the size of a pinhead right now.
It's Tiny Kev.
Think. First question comes from Cameron O'Neill. Greg, where is the one place you have not lived? No, that's right. Greg, where is the one place you have not lived in that you think would be a nice place to live? Well, I'm an American guy. You know that. I like sticking here to the U.S. of A. Number one country. I think Seattle seems like a nice place. A lot of rain. I like that. It's a good vibe. I've never been to Portland. Seems like that might be good. They got a lot of craft beers up there. I'm a big fan of that. Why you and Seattle? You've been to Seattle. It's nice.
It's okay.
I didn't say it's like I don't live there. I don't think it's that great, but I'm saying it could be a cool place to live.
I'm just saying I don't love it like you love it.
I don't love it either. I think I enjoy it.
Well, then we're on the same boat. We hate it.
I think it seems nice. They got a lot of water up there. They got a lot of green trees.
A lot of people say too much water.
7.9.
7.9.
Seattle always seems nice when I visit for PAX. I'm putting Seattle out there. Austin too fucking hot. I'll tell you right now.
Too hot.
Yeah, I've not one of the places you haven't lived. So that's a lot of places. But those are good ones so far. I want to do New York.
Really? New York seems dope.
New York, the problem with New York is nothing ever makes me realize how insignificant life is until you get to New York. When you're walking around and there's like 40 stories of 100 people on top, you're just like, I just do not matter. I am a bug. And then we could all get wiped. This whole city could get wiped out right now. There's a million other bugs on this planet. They don't, nothing matters. We're all horrible. Nobody cares. New York. But they got good pizza, so that'd be the plus. James Davis, parentheses, 16 bits of awesome, says, hey, first-time producer, long-time seducer. Bernie uploaded a vlog last month titled How I Stay Motivated. It was very interesting and discussed the idea of becoming disciplined versus needing emotional motivation, parentheses, and learning how to work without that emotional trigger. My question for you this month is not what keeps you motivated. The question is, how did you gain the discipline to do what you do? As a content creator, I like to hear of the habits and rituals of other creators. And does that little blushing, smiling emoji. Thanks with love, James Davis, 16 bits of awesome. How did you gain the discipline to do what you do? It was taught to me. You know what I mean? That's the thing. I knew I wanted to do journalism, right? Journalism is all deadlines. You have to hit you have to hit this deadline. You have to get this done in this amount of time. You got to turn it around as fast as possible. Go get this. So I think, whether it starts in, junior high of working for the school paper or whatever and having deadlines there, or it, gets to University of Missouri when I'm doing the journalism degree and there's deadlines there for classes, but school kind of built that into you too, right? For me, it was always the big thing of I fucking hated school, hated all of school up until college. Like high school, just did not like my teachers. And you're going through all your puberty and stuff too, so I'm probably an emotional basket case there. Didn't like the teachers though. Didn't like the subject material. Grade school was better in junior high or whatever, but it was like whatever. College was the first time where it was like, hey, here's a class and here's an assignment that is giving you the tools to do what you want. I found that super liberating, super cool. It made me invested. I did really well in college when I just got by in the other schools. It was the motivation there of like I saw what I was doing would get me where I wanted to go, if that made sense. Like it was teaching me like actual things that I'd use in a career. So that was helpful. And I guess that's really where it was. It just built me in of like, this is a deadline you have to hit, so go hit it. And so for us with Kind of Funny, it's the evolution of a journalistic deadline to deadlines at IGN to now our own deadlines and our own schedule, right? I think we have a really good schedule right now in terms of morning show, Kind of Funny Games daily. Then, Tuesday and Thursday, we have a podcast, try to get some Let's Plays in there, try to, keep the rest of the business going. Good God, Kevin, what was that?
There's just so much.
I feel like this is the first time in forever that you look at our schedule and you see holes. Where it's like, oh, we could do something here, and hey, lunch doesn't seem like it's backed up into this. Now, granted, there'll be another. We're going to RTX. There's always another. There's PAX coming up eventually. There's stuff like that that'll get in the way, but I feel like for the most part, we're in a better place. And I think having it structured out, knowing how to hit it works. But I think it all just comes from at IGN. Podcast Beyond was always going to be, in the early days, right? In the early days, it was Thursday. Then we moved it to Tuesday. I think it actually might have gone that it was originally on Tuesdays. And PlayStation published on Thursdays, so we moved to Thursdays, and then I think they might have changed their publish to Tuesdays, and we moved back to Tuesdays. But you understand what I'm saying? Like, there was a time for Podcast Beyond, we hit it. I had a deadline for embargoes for reviews. You hit them because you want to get it out. You want to do well. You want to, get as many at the time clicks, readers, whatever. Now it's many views. You want all this stuff. I want to be part of the conversation. I want to lead the conversation. So I guess that's how that works. It's just I learned how to do it just through repetition, good mentors. Good classes, knowing where it was all taking me. That was helpful. Thomas Layfield. I'm getting back into comic books, but I never really delved into Superman before. I read American Alien, which is awesome, but I was wondering what books you would recommend to someone trying to really get into Superman for the first time. Love you guys, and thanks, Thomas. American Alien is a great place to start. I do have a Greg way up similar to this. Not that I'm telling you to pimp the old content. And that goes into things other than Superman. I always throw out Kingdom Come, which is a whole collection of other superheroes as well, obviously, but it's anchored around Superman, his journeys. I throw out Last Son, which is the Richard Donner, Jeff Johns joint that I love, except for the 3D chapter, but whatever, you get through it.
It's like 2 pages.
It's longer than 2 pages, Kev. They still pack the book with 3D glasses. It's dumb. It's very, very dumb.
Pretty exciting.
But the story is really great, I think, in terms of like, hey, Clark and Lois, they have this kid, let's go. Superman for All Seasons, I think is awesome.
Yeah.
That was really good. That's an Kevin?
Yeah.
Why didn't you like that one?
I don't know.
What's wrong? Come on, tough guy. You had something to say.
It's just okay.
Superman Secret Origin's really good. Superman Brainiac's really good.
Do you like All-Star Superman?
I did not like All-Star Superman.
See, I'm in the same boat with
All-Star Superman was pimped to be this great thing, and a lot of people do think of it, but it was the Superman I don't enjoy. I don't enjoy the Superman who is, I'm Superman. I enjoy the Superman who is like, I'm really Clark Kent, but I put on the disguise of Superman when I go out and do stuff. The whole Kill Bill thing, remember in Volume 2 where he describes it? Yeah. That's like, now I'm like, nah, dude, you're pitching the worst Superman possible. The Superman who feels like he's a god and feels like he's an alien and that's how he identifies, like, that's not cool. I don't like that one goddamn bit. That's why I like American Aliens so much, is that it is so Clark. So Clark. Cries when he fights Lobo. Awesome. It's fucking rad. You kidding me? Awesome. Those are good ones. I mean, this is a good thing of like teaching you what I like about Superman, who Superman is. I know a lot of people would shout out Red Sun, stuff like that, but that's an alternate take and Elseworld kind of thing. That's good, but not teaching you who Superman is right now. You know what I mean? I think right now the run of, I can't say the run. There's a lot of good one-offs out of the ordinary Superman and Action Comics titles that are good right now to prove it, but I can't like point to one. I guess Trinity is an ongoing series right now with Superman, Batman, and Wonder Woman. That's really, really good.
I feel like Red Sun at the end of it, like it goes to like who we think Superman is.
Sure. I hear you. But I wouldn't recommend it right now. Maybe you have to get your feet wet.
It's fun though.
It is fun. I'll give you that. I'll give you that, Kevin. It is fun. Jason says, Greg, I believe Batman vs. Superman was a better film than others make it out. Could you please share some of your thoughts on why this is fact and why the haters are wrong?
Oh boy.
Also, what is your thoughts of DC making Harley Quinn into more of a hero, do you think she's presented accurate in movies and games? Thanks, Jason. Yeah, so Superman v Batman. Is it a perfect film? No. Is it a great film? No. It's a good film. It's a good superhero story. Is it got dumb things like Martha, dumb things him spinning him around by his foot with the rope, and like the questionable things about? Of course it does. Here's what I always go back to. Is that I hate making this argument because I hate when fucking people do this. But Batman v Superman, right? Oh my God, it's so bad. Oh, blah, blah, blah. My take on it always is, and stick with me because it's not going to go the direction you think it is. I hate to be that guy, but as somebody who reads comics, and I hate saying that because that's just such a cop-out, but this is why I enjoy the movie. Hate to be the guy, but for somebody who reads comics, that movie was so much better than 90% of the Superman comics I've read. Even Batman to an extent. Batman has a lot better comics than Superman. I won't lie to you on that one. But it's one of those things of like, yeah, they punched each other and they were toys and this and why weird Jolly Rancher in the guy's mouth. I get it. A lot of weird shit happening there. But there's also Batman fucking and Superman in the same goddamn movie, fighting each other, rolling around, fucking the Flash coming back through time, everyone. Can we point out how awesome that is? And did they explain it to you? No, they didn't. They said you're either smart enough to get this, or you're just gonna hate it even more. But yeah, there's plenty of movies, and I'm never gonna say to a hater, hey, you're wrong. I understand why you don't like the movie. I understand the narrative structure. Don't get me wrong. I would not have made Batman versus Superman if somebody gave me blank paper and was like, hey, write the Batman script. I was like, all right, cool. But like this would not be the movie I made. But I enjoyed it, and I think it comes back to I'm starving for a Batman v Superman movie. So, all right, cool. Do you remember I Am Legend? Do you remember? I'm in the theater watching I Am Legend. He's in Times Square, and there's a Batman v Superman. Or Batman Superman at least, not V, but Batman Superman billboard. And then he goes into the movie store and there's a Teen Titan VHS thing. And in my head, I'm like, sucks there's all these vampires around, but we had a pretty good run. We got some of the things we actually wanted, right? Like, my God, we'll balance it out here, you know what I mean? So, again, not a perfect movie, not a great movie. It's a good movie. It's a fine movie. I think it gets too much shit. I think people went in there wanting to hate it on a lot of things because Man of Steel was a little wobbly and everybody likes to just take it down. Not to mention everybody loves Marvel. Understandably so. They keep fucking knocking it out of the park. But Batman v Superman, a good comic book movie. I said it. I've seen way worse. I've enjoyed, and granted, I'm skewed. I like Batman. I like Superman. I understand. It's DC. I like it a lot. I can admit a lot of things were wrong in it. You know what I mean? But Clark and Lois's relationship was really good. Batman and Alfred's relationship was really good. The one Batman fight scene they let us have was really good. You know what I mean? Where he's flopping around hitting people. When they come and fight each other, that was kind of dumb, right? Because Superman just gets angry and throws him. At any time, Superman should just stop and be like, hey, they have my mom. And maybe we could have started from there. And not because he already knows he's Bruce. He already knows he's Clark. What's the point? I digress. Oh, sorry. And what were my thoughts on DC making Harley Quinn into more of a hero? I'm fine with it. Harley Quinn, I mean, when she was just the Joker's sidekick, lackey / girlfriend, or whatever you want to say, I mean, like, okay. Like, the idea of her being more of a gray area, all right, whatever. That's enjoyable enough. If you're talking about, like, in the books and, like, Injustice and stuff, that's pretty good. I think she's more interesting. I know this sucks. She's more interesting as a character in what Tom Taylor's done with her in Injustice than she was as just the Joker's arm candy in Batman the Animated Series. She was great there, and for a cartoon, that's great. But for an ongoing comic, I want to see her progress. I want to see her have that relationship with Green Arrow. I want to see her start this friendship with Batman. That's all cool. John Burleson. Greg, congrats on roping in Jen Miller. Thank you. Have you had a discussion about kids yet? I'm glad things are good. She seems like the coolest of all times. I appreciate the all times. You put it in parentheses, pointing out that you know. Yeah, we talked about kids on our first date. That was one of the moments I knew that I was going to end up marrying this woman. And it was going to happen fast, probably, because I didn't want to live without her. But it was the idea of we were sitting there talking about futures, and she was talking about her career, this, that, and the other. And then she's like, yeah, maybe I want to have, 1 or 2 kids down the line, too. And in my head, I said, okay. And that was a huge moment for me where I then tuned her out. And I was like, wait, what did I say okay for in my head? Because you know me, you've watched these shows. I've been anti-kids since Nicolas Cage and The Family Man. A movie where I was like, well, when he jumps into the alternate reality where he has the kids with Téa Leoni, that looks like a really miserable existence. When he was living in a cool high-rise, when he was having sex with his girl in her lingerie, where he had the nice car, I was like, that looks like a much better. I took away the message you're not supposed to take from that, but it worked, and I stuck with it for a long time. And, you know, for a long time, I thought it was that I didn't want kids. And then I met her and we talked about them. And I was like, oh, you know, it's not that I didn't want kids. It's that I never found the person I wanted kids with. And now I have her. And we're going to have kids. And I'm going to make sure those motherfuckers like comic books. And DC comic books, to be very clear. And not because I hate Marvel. Just because I need a friend who will watch Batman v Superman with me and be like, oh, this was a good movie. Because, you might say I have Nick on that fight. I don't. Nick is the biggest flip-flopper I've ever heard. If Nick's in there and he notices how he'll immediately make fun of Batman v Superman, then I have to point out the fact that he did like it. He's like, but he's already made a little comment. He's already tried to impress somebody. I'm sick of it. I'm sick of Nick, Kevin. Anthony Camillo, parentheses, peanut, 0423. Are people real or are they just part of the simulation? Great question.
Nobody knows.
Yeah, there's no way to know.
Does it matter though? That's my thing.
Does it matter is a great question from Big Kev Dog.
You can hear me.
I've debated it before at length, especially growing to Catholic school from K through 12th grade. It's been a question, right? Of maybe all of this does just work in my story. Maybe this is just my story and not even you. Maybe I'm just talking to nobody. Maybe this isn't, maybe it's just my story. I'm in my own little world with a whole bunch of simulation AI. And the reason I always bring it up that I think is weird is because I've had it on multiple times. And it hasn't happened in a long time, but multiple times where I'd be growing, I'm like, oh man, I'm having deja vu. And somebody would be like, well, what's that? I was like, how do you not know what deja vu is? And then the Matrix happened, which is this basic idea. Basic, I know that they're in the thing too, but basic idea. And people can always like, oh, it's like the Matrix, which then tries to take out the easier argument because they know we're getting hip to the situation of the simulation. I'm not down with anybody getting hip to the situation of the simulation except me. So, do you ever find it odd that I'm objectively talentless, have no real redeeming skills, but somehow all this is happening? You're watching this stuff. Yep. You're helping on Patreon. Kevin's over there. He's an employee of mine. It seems kind of weird that everything just works out for Greg, right? Meanwhile, horrible things are happening across the world. People getting bombed. All this other bad stuff's happening. But I'm just skating by here eating free DiGiorno's pizza. Something's up with that. Is it just a blessed life? Is it something I got reincarnated? I deserved a good life? Is it because I'm a good person I'm rewarded? Is it all part of the situation that is the stimulation, the simulation? Don't know. Nobody knows. So is it? I don't think so. Pretty sure that's not the correct thing. But it is really weird to think about the fact that I can never be sure you see colors the same way as me, that you interpret information the same way I do, that you have the same kind of dialogue in your head, that even just what it feels like to feel this table feels the same for you. It's you don't want to think about it too hard. Don't think about it too hard. Instead, go play video games. Because when you get down into the situation that is the simulation, all bets are off. Don't think about it. Mitch Krassen. I'm curious how you guys got into / currently work with Patreon. Do you know a lot of the people that work at their headquarters, hence being one of the first groups on Patreon? How often do you talk to people there? If it's a confidentiality thing, no big deal. I was just curious on how the relationship works. Kevin, do you mind if I take off my shoes?
Go for it. I'm going to do it too.
It's very hot here in San Francisco. It's very hot in here. Kevin's in shorts. He was a smart man. I was hoping we'd beat it. When does this heat end, Kevin?
Nobody knows.
No one knows.
No one knows.
The situation of the simulation. No one knows. So I'll go through the first part kind of quick in terms of the Patreon story. Because with all due respect to you, a lot of people know how I think we ran into how it all happened. Happened to us. We're doing youtube.com / GameOverGreggy. We keep, and it's me, Nick, Tim, and Colin. Kevin, a blip on our radar right now. I think he actually might have been working with us, but it doesn't matter. Anyways, we used to do this weekly meeting where we'd go off and talk about what we're going to do content-wise and what t-shirt idea we had or all this jazz. And yes, this weekly meeting was a lunch break at IGN. And one day we sat down and we started realizing the fact that we were enjoying what we were doing, or starting to at least, more than the work at IGN. And so we had that conversation of like, okay, what's everybody's number? What does everybody need to make to have this be their full-time job? Came back a week later with those numbers, and we were all like, whoa, Jesus, like, no, we are not making that off YouTube AdSense. This is never going to happen. Maybe in a year and a half, we can come back and address this. And so then I want to say 3 or 4 weeks later, we went to VidCon, and on the plane to VidCon, or on the way to the Vid airport, Tim showed me his phone. He goes, "Have you heard of this site?" And it was an article about Patreon, who had just gotten their just starting to get pressed, got their venture capital money, had just like signed the lease on their place in downtown San Francisco. And I was like, yeah, kind of. It's like Kickstarter, right? And he's like, yeah, it's crowdfunding. I was like, okay, cool. He's like, yeah, we should look into it when we get back. And I was like, great. Go to VidCon. We do our panel, one of them, come out and start signing autographs and taking photos with people. And as we're doing that, this group of guys is walking by and they do like that double take. And they're like, holy shit, Greg Miller. And they ran over and like, wow, I was such a fan. Blah, blah, love you at IG. And I'm like, oh, thanks, man. And I looked down and they were wearing Patreon shirts. And I was like, oh, do you know the guys from Patreon? And they were like, yeah, I'm the CTO and that's, and I was like, whoa, you are Patreon? Like it was, Patreon had come down to VidCon because they thought there'd be a good crossover section there with everything that was happening. Plus Jack was already part of it, Jack Conte. Sorry?
I said they nailed it.
They did nail it. Struck up a conversation with them, was like, Tim's like, we have to have a meeting. We had a meeting, that was like, we'll say Saturday. We had a meeting like on Tuesday or whatever. And we went there and for like an hour and a half, like I'll never forget, we got there because they have this awesome San Francisco office. We got there and people were still moving in the boxes. Like they had just gotten this place. And Tyler, who I forget his title, is he VP? He's something. He's up there. He spent an hour and a half with us just talking about it. He's like, this is exactly what you've been looking for. Your audience will want to do this, da, 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 da. And so he was right. And we launched that first Patreon. We rebranded as Kind of Funny. We had the 100 Pence video, did all that stuff, and it was off to the races. Everything was fantastic. I always talk about it, the fact that they're super nice people, the Patreon people. And like they're like creepy nice, where everyone is all smiles and stuff. And you're like, how are you going to fuck us? How are you going to take the money here? It's like the genie thing. Don't fuck me. Third wish, don't fuck me. But like in the, we published it at 9 a.m. on a Monday. And so like Sunday night at midnight, I was texting with Tyler and he was giving me feedback and answers and support and running me through the back end. It was like great stuff. And then when we left and, did the full thing, January 5th, 2015, launched Kind of Funny Games, we had a huge day and a huge week. And before that week ended, we went down there for lunch or whatever. And we walked in, they gave us like a standing ovation. But even then it was like their team had grown so much. And like every time we go there now, it's always, they knocked down a wall or whatever and built, went like, I remember when we got there and the place above them, they were renting out to another company. Then they got rid of them, put more stuff up there. Then they busted through the other wall. And like, they have this awesome space and they grow and blah, blah, blah. So that was like coming up with them. Now, no confidentiality. It goes in waves, I'll say. I feel like there's times where there's this woman, Heather, over there that we work with pretty closely and stuff, but she like, it comes in waves in terms of like, maybe you've seen this nice Patreon video they did about us and make Meet Kind of Funny. They did this video and like they hit us up like, hey, we're doing this video for promote creators and like you're one of those, you've been around forever and you're a success story. I'm like, all right, cool, come on, do the video. Didn't think much of it. And then they hit me up, last week and we're like, hey, we're relaunching Patreon and the brand and all this stuff. The video's for that. Let us explain to you this, that, and the other. Do you mind if we set you up with interviews? And so like they'd gotten me an interview the week before when I didn't know what was happening. Then with USA Today, they had me get interviewed the other day. And it's like stuff like that where it's like we're both, the Patreon and Kind of Funny are both like a million miles ahead, just fucking killing it. And then it comes back at times where it's like, hey, we need help because this file isn't uploading the way it is. Or they're like, hey, we have this opportunity for you to do something cool like this, blah, blah. There's no confidentiality. There's no like, business other than the business of it. That is just like every other Patreon creator. But they're really good to us. They're always super helpful. They still are way too nice. I'm still waiting for the other shoe to drop. But maybe they won't fuck us. It seems like they won't. Kevin, are they going to fuck us?
I don't think so.
Okay,
Jesus,
good.
that was hard to say.
Yeah. So no, we talk to them every so often. Yeah. I mean, again, it's the waves. That's why I can't. I think I would venture to say there's times where we don't talk to them for a couple months, and then we start talking to them a lot and all this different stuff. Or there's an event, or there's a party, or this, that. But they're good folks. Ain't that right, Kev?
Yep.
Matthew Miller, good last name. Hey, Greg. With you guys doing these seasonal shows, which is a great idea, by the way, will we ever get a second season of Follow the Leader? Or could cocktails and drinks be worked into Cooking with Greggy? I just want to know more ways to get hammered. Damn. Thanks and keep up the good work. Interesting question, Matthew Miller. No, all options, as Colin would say, are on the table. No one's stepping in and saying yes, no, any of this other stuff. I think Follow the Leader was an interesting one for us that Nick and I, who right now, as of recording, have only had preliminary talks about really what we want Cooking with Greggy to look like. But Follow the Leader, I think, was a good example of, or a good lesson for us in terms of what kind of funny content is and what content is, if that makes sense. Just content, not for content's sake. That sounds bad. We love Follow the Leader. We had a great time. We love Eric, right? If you watch Follow the Leader, it's literally a how-to video. There's not much personality in that, right? So now as we sit here and talk about cooking with Greggy, we're talking about, Nick and I had a conversation of, is it just a how-to video or is it how-to, but there's also all this kind of funny personality to it? And I think obviously the right call when you describe it that way is kind of funny personality to it. Because there was like, Colin and Eric doing the old fashioned, right? This is the official drink of Kind of Funny. How do you make it? Make it this way. It's a classy drink. Blah, blah, blah. Cool. That's how you make an old fashioned. But it wasn't like, man, what's the first time you had an old fashioned? What's an old fashioned mean to you? Well, it means this, a little bit of a podcast with a little mini topic to it. I think that's a little bit like what we're thinking right now is our wheels are still turning. I think we have a meeting on Wednesday for discussing really what we want Cooking with Greggy to look like. I think that's a big part of it. So even if Follow Leader did come back, it would be, I think, more, hey, we're doing this and this is what that is, but it's kind of a pie. We're drinking a little, we're going to make the drink and drink it a little bit and podcast a little bit rather than just give you the drink. So we're always there to help you get hammered. We're, of course, very boring people. We usually just order the same thing. Old fashions are happening all the time around here. Kevin, what are you drinking these days, Kev?
I stick to the old fashioned.
Yeah, right?
Although at the party, at IGN's party,
yeah,
I had a vodka Red Bull.
How'd you like that?
It was fine. They charged me $2 extra though. That I didn't.
Well, I don't like that one bit.
No.
I would say don't do that.
But it was like midnight and I needed the energy.
Gotcha, okay. Demetris Newell. What's up, Greg? This is Gifted Dim 63 from Twitch, and I wanted to start this off by saying thank you so much for hyping my birthday on June 7th and by liking my birthday tweet from New York City. I appreciated it a lot. My question directly relates to social media and the Kind of Funny best friends. With you having over 1 million Twitter followers on social media, do you find it more difficult to keep up with acknowledging best friends over social media? The reason why I ask is because up until my birthday, you had never acknowledged a tweet or a comment from me unless I tipped you guys in the morning show. That sounds fucking terrible when you say that. I know that you couldn't possibly acknowledge everyone, but do you think some people feel left out if you don't get a chance to see their comment on Twitch or their tweet to you or anything like that? Thank you for answering. Well, of course I feel that way, Mr. Newell. Gifted Dim. That's been, it's a double-edged sword, I guess, in a way. Because you figure in the old days it was that I'd wake up and refresh my Twitter feed, and even if you tweet at me in the middle of the night, it would refresh that way. I think the thing people lose sight of is like Twitter is not it's not a moment-to-moment app. So like when the people who drive, I feel bad missing anybody's tweet. A long time ago had to move to just hearting things, favoriting tweets if I found them funny. That way that you understood. I used to try to give everybody a response. I was good at that for a long time. Then too many people started asking for responses. So then you give them a heart. Sometimes it's, if you're asking a question that I know has been answered, then it's like, but I'll try to answer it for you. You know what I mean? Like, what do I order at Portillo's? It's like, man, come on. You've been around long enough to Google that one. You know that there's a video up from Greg about that. So yeah, it sucks. I do hate the idea of somebody thinking that they only get acknowledged if they tip. It's just that that's a barrier to entry that then makes it manageable to actually get something done. When it is a free-for-all out there and people, I love y'all, don't get me wrong, but the amount of times somebody tweets me a question at 5 a.m. our time, it's like, why would you think I would answer that? Like, think for a second, I understand it's morning for you, but think about me in San Francisco and me sleeping next to little Porty in Genevieve St. Thomas on the other side usually. Porty likes to get right in the middle. Yeah, it sucks. There isn't a way to handle it, and this is, we've talked about it very openly, I think, here on Kind of Funny, and the changes we've had to go through and do these different things, and how do we acknowledge people, not acknowledge the same people, how do we talk to different communities, how do you make time for all that stuff, and still, it's a ever-changing thing. I think the easier way is that we see a lot of the same question and try to group that together and either make a video or bring it up on a show or talk about it on Twitch, or if on a Twitch show somebody asks the same thing, or now on Kind of Funny Games Daily, try to have that speak. But I understand, I'd love to talk to everyone individually. I'd love to have that moment with everybody, but yeah, it is impossible, which sucks. So it sucks. I try to keep up the best I can, but it gets harder every day. But I hope you understand that I still love you and appreciate you. John Dyson. Hi, Greg. In April's Ask Kind of Funny Anything, I kindly asked you to pick your favorite Instagram post from that month and provide a little more context and insight behind what motivated you to post said photo? Spoiler, I'm going to make that a reoccurring question for you. With that said, what was your favorite Instagram post from May/June and why? Thanks so much. With love, your friend, John Dizon. I apologize. Or Mustard. Oh, like Dijon.
I always call it Dyson.
I thought, yeah, but he spelled it out. Thank you very much. P.S. Thank you for all the hard work at Kind of Funny Live 3. It was one of the best weekends of my life. No, thank you. Kevin has pulled up my Instagram.
He's the guy that makes the dope shirt designs that I wear.
Yes.
Yeah.
Very good shirts.
Pineapple shirt.
So scrolling down, we're obviously starting right here in the weekend. There's already so much good stuff. Shuhei Yoshida there. Keep scrolling. I like this one.
Hold on 1 second.
What's wrong?
I want to make this.
Are you gonna show it to the kiddies?
Yeah.
Gotcha. Smart. Hold on 1 second, everybody. Kevin's gonna make it so you can see this too. So this is more interesting.
it is.
There we go. Whoa, it's gone now. What the? Big Kev dong.
Let's put you
Wink. That's perfect.
right there. All right.
All right. So these Shuhei ones are great. I like that Cool Greg one. Obviously, that's my beautiful wife.
These are dope.
Yeah, these were really good. This is in the Sex Dungeon 83, of course. That's Cool Greg and giving me a pep
Such a
talk
good
at
bet.
arms. Everybody follow me, Instagram.com/GameOverGreg. This is Nick paddling me. Well, it's Jen and Nick paddling me. I still have so let's just go for a second. So I still have a bruise. And the reason I know I have a bruise is that yesterday I was taking a nap, laying in bed naked, and Jen came out of the bathroom, saw my naked ass, and went, "Oh my God," and came over and felt like she was just spreading my cheeks and looking right into my asshole. And I was like, "What are you doing?" And she's like, "There's a huge bruise." I'm like, "Oh, geez, it does not feel like that's what we're looking at."
Why did Nick hit you so hard?
Why did Nick hit me so hard? We had been drinking for quite some time. We were in a sex dungeon. Also, he goes way too low. Everybody says I have no ass, and this is the problem. I just feel like it's not that hard, but watch how low he goes. Like, you can see it like all over the back of the thigh. Like, what was that? So no, this is not my favorite. I'm in sex bondage, by the way, too. Yeah, see. And it's my fault, of course, Kevin.
Sure.
It's my fault, of course, that something's gone wrong. All right, get out of here.
Cool Greg wearing the wife beater in the background.
Yeah, as he does. Keep going. I like that one of me and Jen. I'm hoping eventually there'll be one that just jumps out at you. You know what I mean? Keep going. Keep going. Yeah, cool. That's a good one. Cool. Keep going. Keep going. Keep going. Oh, I think I know what's. Keep going. I am a pretty big fan of that. Me in the Wonder Woman outfit with the shield where I'm doing. Yeah, that one right there. Right now, that's the front runner. Give me 2 more lines of photos, and I'll pick that one if nothing else. Oh, look at Porty.
Look at Porty.
What a cute dog.
Look at our barbecues. Remember how fun they were?
They were fun until you decided we needed more shows. You did this.
I begged you not to do the shows.
Yeah, okay. I'm going up to me as Wonder Woman. That was a great moment, and that came together the way I wanted it to look. You like that shot of Porty?
Yeah, it's a good shot.
He's a good-looking dog.
Great looking dog.
I don't know if you're aware of this.
I am aware.
Okay.
Actually, I told you, I think.
You told me he was a good-looking dog?
Yeah.
Huh. Not how I remember, but okay. Angel Cruz. Hiya, Greg, you sexy beast. First off, I'd like to apologize for my question last month. I asked if the best friends could help me with a GoFundMe for a friend and felt the disappointment from Tim when he read it. I know self-advertising is a problem you guys are going through right now, so I am sorry for that. Now for my question. Well, first off, thanks for understanding. It's not that we hate it, right? It's just that we don't want to open that door and make content we don't want you to get, because people we mean to you then, it's a long thing. My question. I'm an Xbox guy, 17. I just graduated high school and I want to study film and journalism in college. What are the odds I could become the kind of funny Xbox guy? I feel you guys really need one because of the obvious hole in knowledge with Greg being PlayStation and Tim being Nintendo. Possible internship? Forget about those dumb dudes from space, hire me. But for reals, are you guys seriously looking at the idea for an Xbox branch, and how do you plan on the expansion of Kind of Funny in the future? Do you plan on becoming a network like Rooster Teeth yourself? Thank you for your time. Stay amazingly awesome. That's a good question. I'm gonna drink some water. Water's good. It's a big question too, I guess. Our plan is to keep making the content we're passionate about. To believe in what we're doing. As I've said before, right, when we were doing PS I Love You, when we started PS I Love You, was the idea of I loved the idea of a Kind of Funny where it was we had a podcast for PlayStation, Nintendo, Xbox, so on and so forth. when we leave PS I Love You behind and we bring in Games Daily, I think now we're in this really interesting space we've never been in before, where with Andrea and Danny, right, we're using contract hosts of like, all right, cool, like you have your own thing, you have your own job, we're contracting you for this specific show we're doing right now. And I think that makes it interesting, right, in terms of what does that do for future shows we want to do? What does that do for future hires we want to have? As I think most people know, I think our next hire needs to be more of a Kevin kind of role, not necessarily tech like that, but administrative, doing this stuff, right? Like with Joey's part-time, I would like to bring her on full-time or have a full-time community manager to do that, because that's too big a job for the hours she can allot to it. So I think it's stuff like that. The problem is that I don't think we're ever going to be able to forecast really what Kind of Funny looks like in a year and a half, because it changes so drastically and it changes so quickly, right? The studio, remember that was going to be that we were going to look, Kevin and Nick and Tim were going to go look at a place to see what was on the market. It turned out to be the place, and we got it like the next week.
I always planned it for it to be the place.
Well, you know what, Kevin, you're a little lying sack of shit.
I'm also the one that found it, and I found the previous place we went to look at like 3 months beforehand.
My house?
No.
Thank you. Obviously we didn't plan on Colin leaving when he left. There's all these different things that happen. So there's so much to react to. And I think, you know, the schedule of content we're rolling out right now with Kind of Funny Games Daily and stuff, in January, that wouldn't have been my plan for the company, but things happen. We get to this point. What are we passionate about? What do we want to do? And we go and do it. So I don't know. I guess it would come down to that we hire somebody who's passionate about Xbox and wants to make an Xbox specific show. But even then, I don't know is that the best use of somebody's time? Is that, you know what I mean? Like because then it becomes a PS I Love You kind of situation where, cool, am I coming in there and co-hosting this with this man or woman and not necessarily having that knowledge base that they have and having to be able to bounce back and forth with that? Wouldn't that just be a better fit for Kind of Funny Games Daily and Games Cast, that there be a person in there that has that kind of thing? Internships you can't do because they're boring in California. You can't do anything. It sucks. What are the odds of you being the Xbox guy? You're 17, so go to college and then see where you're at, I guess, in 4 years, and we'll see what's going on. See where we're at in 4 years. Chances are Kevin's sold the whole company. I don't know how he got all the stock, but he probably did. So yeah, that's not. Do you plan on becoming a network like Rooster Teeth? That's not the plan. The plan, I think, would be that, again, we'd like to continue to grow, hire more people who come in and then want to make the passionate projects, or the projects they're passionate about. I think you see that with Andy, right? Andy's passionate about social media and fun little videos there. So all of a sudden, our Instagram for Kind of Funny Vids is having a story and having all these different things in there. That's not something we were passionate about. So it's nice to have somebody in here who has eyes on it and wants to do that kind of content. Who knows? Don't do drugs. Right, Kev?
Yeah, drugs are bad.
Yeah, drugs are bad, Kevin. Good job. William Pettyjohn. Hey, Greg. Who is the best Robin and why? I'm in the Tim Drake camp. Just curious where you come down on it. It's a great question. I would say Tim Drake as well, but I feel like there's a flaw in the question in the way of I feel like Robin matters more. Most people's favorite Robin are going to be the Robin that they were around the same age as, if that makes sense. You know what I mean? Like, I like Tim Drake because of I was the same age when Tim Drake jumped on the screen. So you're thinking about, or scene, I should say. And you're thinking about, man, it'd be cool to be Batman. Oh my God, he's dating Spoiler. Oh my God, these are really cool things. You know what I mean? Like, there's all these different things of, granted, he's going out and fighting the Joker or whatever, but then he's reflecting things that are happening in your real life. It's one of the reasons I think I like Superboy so much in terms of post-crisis. Death and Return. Dick Grayson I love, but when I started reading comics, he wasn't Robin anymore, right? I think of Dick as Nightwing, and then of course, obviously, when he was Batman in the fucking awesome Batman and Robin run. Universe run, but Grant Morrison's Batman and Robin sticks out to me. Jason Todd sucked. Let's just be honest. He's better now as Red Hood and everything else. And then Damian I like a lot, but I don't think of Damian as Robin. I think of Damian as Damian. Damian Wayne is Damian. He's doing Damian kind of stuff and always trying to kill people and doing that. He's great right now in Super Sons and stuff though too. But yeah, I think Tim Drake, but I think it's a flawed question in the way of you're going to go back to what you know and what you love. Here we go. Mike Lynch. Do you and Colin still keep in touch? I know breakups can be bad, but are you still friends? If you don't want to answer, I understand. Well, Mike Lynch, we say on this thing, you put me on blast in public. Of course I have to answer. Colin and I, no, we don't keep in touch. I think we see each other on social media probably, or I see him on social media. I know what he's doing from that. It's also the fact that I guess in the long run, it's June-ish now. I mean, it's probably been 3 weeks since we talked, but even then that was about moving out and stuff. I mean, that's just how it is. You know what I mean? Like Colin and I ended. You bring it up, it was a breakup, right? And the fact that it was an adult breakup of like how we always talk about it, like with Kind of Funny. We were going this direction, he's going that direction. And now that we're both off going in those directions, we're going full steam ahead. So it's that weird thing of like, yeah, like we don't, but I also don't talk to any of my friends from high school really either. You know what I mean? Like it's just, we've gone off and done our other things and doing our own things. And I wish him the best, as I'm sure he wishes me. But no, we don't. Mike Pedro, and I thought it said pedo, so I'm glad I reread it. Mike Pedro. Hey, Greg. It's been a while since I joined in for an AMA. I hope you're doing well. What are your thoughts on the past off season for the Chicago Bears? P.S. Get your ass to upstate New York soon so you can try some OG chicken wings. I know a few places. I'll start with the end there. I'd love to. I want to go to Buffalo so bad for chicken wings. Period. Otherwise, I don't think Buffalo has anything interesting. The Bills certainly aren't interesting. But the wings, I know for sure. With Anchor Bar and Grill. I got to get there. It's where it all started. Bears, this is the thing that, when I lived with Mike Mitchell and I lived with Colin, right, is I am not that kind of football fan. I am a fan of football when football starts, and usually once the Bears are, like, the Super Bowl, I'll watch. Like, here's the thing. I like watching the Bears because it reminds me of home. So I like it when there's actual games. I like it when the season starts and it matters. And then once the Bears are, obviously when you get to the end of December and they're gone, I don't playoff football. It's hard for me to get excited about because I just don't really care about other teams other than the Bears. So basically what I'm saying is I don't even fucking know what the Bears have done this offseason. Last season, I was a terrible Bears fan. Usually you'd see me in the old days. Going to Underdogs to watch it. I'm buying the NFL Sunday ticket. Last year, I was just like, fuck it. I'm on the road every weekend. I'll worry about it. And I saw like the fewest games I've seen since I lived in Chicago and didn't know anything about football. So I don't know what the Bears are doing. I enjoy them when they're playing and I keep up that way. But like in terms of like, oh, they did this and they traded this draft pick and they got this guy, but I can't keep up with it. I don't have my bandwidth for NFL is not there. Once Madden comes around, that's usually the kickoff of football season for me. And then I go from there. Steven Osland. Hi, Greg. Hi, Greg. I think I've missed every Q&A since it moved to this new format, but I'm still here. Do you have any plans for Comic-Con this year? I think I heard you might, KF might not. You might not is what he's trying to say. Make it, but wanted to check. I'll try to organize a Polite Provisions fan meetup if you guys can make it. Love you guys, heart. Right now, no firm plans for Comic-Con. The problem is we usually travel too much. And as we say every year, we're trying to travel less so we stick to the content and make everything you guys want. That meant that this year we were going to go to VidCon. Then we got Kind of Funny Games Daily launching the exact same week. We said no VidCon, double down on the content. And so I think we're not planning on going to Comic-Con. However, if an opportunity for me to go and do a panel or whatever, a gig, if you will, make some money for the company comes along, we'll do that. I had preliminary talks with someone about that, but I haven't heard anything recently. And it's not like my main motivator. I have a million other things going on. So maybe, but if I did, it would be in and out trip so that I don't miss too many days of work and I don't fuck up our entire schedule, which I think is in a really good spot right now. Alex Bliss, a.k.a. Blissful Ignorance. What up, Greg? How do you feel these Q&As are going? Are you seeing the kind of engagement you were hoping to? I personally like them a lot, but have only recently started asking questions on them. Lastly, and most importantly, Teddy or Morgana? I like these Q&As a lot. I like just bullshitting around. This is what I think, when we talked about it, and I did like a community town hall thing that you may or may not have seen, and I don't get the chance to just talk to you enough. I love going through the Twitch chat and talking. I love doing the tips. I love that. But there's always the next thing, the next appointment, the next whatever. So I'm happy to have these here. It was one of those things where when we did the town hall and people were upset about something here and there, it was not upsetting, but I was like, oh man, like we do the Q&A. I wish people were asking the questions that were on their mind. But I don't know if it's just that maybe the people who use the Patreon don't have those same questions or whatever. I always find, there's 20 responses here. Granted, Kevin, how long have we been recording?
45 minutes.
45 minutes, and we're not even through all 20 questions yet. So they go long, but that's also me being long because I just like talking to you guys and I like over-explaining myself, and it's kind of the whole shtick of this, the authenticity of the relationship of being best friends. So I like them a lot. I'm surprised there's not more questions. I'm kind of happy, I guess, in a way there aren't more questions, because then do we have to start not doing every question? Do we have to, you know what I mean? You got to bounce around and figure it all out. But I like them a lot. Kevin, do you like them?
I really enjoy them.
Okay, good. It seems like the audience is usually really positive about it. But then there would be the people who are like, and then granted, it's been a rough few months, but like, oh, no, they're dodging questions about. I'm like, no, nobody asked them. Like, what do you want me to do? But you asked them this time, so good job. John Gary. Hi, Greg. First off, thank you for all the hard work you put in to make awesome content each week for us. I especially enjoyed your coverage of E3. It put Rooster Teeth to shame. Oh, and I don't be rude to them. Ashley Jenkins over there doing really good work. Sadly had to work with Anthony Carboni. That guy sucks. But otherwise, they did great stuff. But on to my question. Have you ever watched any British comedy? If so, what was it and what did you think of it? If you haven't and you want to check something out, then I suggest Cuckoo. As a good starter, as Andy Samberg co-stars in season 1. Black Adder is a classic, and Mrs. Brown's Boys is the current big thing. Hope you guys are coming to RTX London. Thanks, Governor. P.S. Kevin fears the bongos.
I don't fear anything.
Kevin's not afraid of anything. It's a weird question. I haven't watched any of those shows, nor have I heard of them. I watched a bit of Spaced. I like that. I used to watch Monty Python, I guess, growing up. That was fun. Benny Hill for the funny music and the lingerie. I mean, does Shaun of the Dead count? Because that was a huge deal when Shaun of the Dead came to the multiplex in Missouri, and I went and watched it there, and it literally took me 15 minutes of intently listening to finally understand their accents. Then it became one of my favorite movies of all time. I watched a little bit of The British Office because everybody's like, oh, it's better than The American Office. You're all fucking crazy.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? And don't get me wrong, the first season of The American Office, no bueno, but it's just because they're copying The British Office. Then they get off and they go do their thing, and it's way better. Way better. I know this especially offends my friend Kyle, who won't ever watch this, but I want you to know that American Office, way better than The British Office. Kevin, how do you feel about that?
100% agree.
I love you, Kevin. I love you, Kevin.
Too,
Matt Castro says, Greg, so we all know you like to use the phone while you're at the urinal, but my question is about what happens next. When you wash your hands, should the water be cold or warm? I'm a warm water man myself. I am a warm water man as well. Jen lately has been trying to say, no, it's actually keeping the bacteria alive or some shit. I've washed my whole fucking hands this way forever, for 34 years. And yeah, I had cancer once, but I doubt that's from the warm water. So I'm a warm water man. Get the cold out of here. RJ Davis. Hey, Greg. Just wanted to thank you for a great Kinda Funny Live 3. I met some amazing people there, and I'll be coming to Kinda Funny Live 4. I also wanted to thank you for doing my topic on episode 185 of GOG about the genie in a bottle. Fuck that, dude. That was a great goddamn topic. Wish number 3, don't fuck with me. Whatever you're thinking about doing, don't do it. Also, a huge shout out to the community and meeting everyone at Kinda Funny Live 3. Meeting all of you has been an inspiration and has helped me try and accomplish one of my dreams of sending a demo reel to a local voice acting studio to try to become a voiceover artist. Do you have any pointers if they call me back to ask for the audition? P.S. Thanks to Jen for letting me look after Portillo at the meet and greet. Oh, now, okay. I mean, I knew who you were, obviously, based on the genie thing. I obviously met you at the VIP thing. Now I have a face with it. No, I'm terrible at voiceovering. I don't know why I keep getting gigs at it. Mainly just because I have friends, I guess, who make video games. But I feel like, I mean, that's the biggest thing. Just check out. You're gonna feel like an idiot if you're like Greg. Nothing makes me feel dumber than acting. Whenever I have to go act anything, and it can be the smallest thing, it can be a skit we're doing here, I feel like such a fucking idiot, such a phony. I just don't feel like I'm delivering anything well. I don't know. But like when I went and did like DC Universe Online voice acting, right, and Lego voice acting, it was like, all right, just fucking, I feel like an idiot in here in this glass box with like 7 people on the other side of the wall listening to me go, yeah, just get over it. Just do it. Well, it's like, it was so, not enough credit is given to one Liam O'Brien. You know him from Critical Role. He was the voice director, though, for the Lego game I did, the Lego Marvel Avengers. It was fine when it was lines. I'm back from beyond the grave. Like, that was all great. But then it was like just 76 entries on a spreadsheet of random noises. And so he'd be like, all right, you just fell. I'd be like, ah. He's like, all right, but you fell from a place higher. Ah. All right, but it's higher than that now. Ah. You know what I mean? But then it was, do this kind of grunt, do that kind of grunt. And I was like, I don't, and I do it. And he's like, no, like this. He just did things and then I parroted them back to him at some point. He could have done the whole fucking video game himself in much less time, but he did it to me. So basically go in there, you're going to feel like an idiot if you're like Greg Miller, but who cares? Just do it, get it done. Nicole Humphrey is the final question for this AMA. It says, Greg, can you tell us the origin of If I'm Lying, I'm Dying? I keep up with most kind of funny content, but the origin of this particular line seems to have eluded me. It comes from the Grandma Miller raccoon story, right?
Yeah, I think so.
That's the first time I say it, and I say it like 50 times.
Yeah, so
and Colin's finally like, is that a Greg? I think he's my dad, right? He's like, is that a your dad line? And I'm like, yeah. And it's honestly, I don't know if my dad's. I mean, I can picture my father saying, "If I'm lying, I'm dying," but I think it's just something that should be in his repertoire. Because my dad does stories and he'll be like, Gregory, and they'll tell me the story about some crane operator thing that happened or some construction. He once told me the story, Kevin, and I've never been able to verify because I've never looked into it. But he's telling me about on a job site where they were making instant mashed potatoes, but they were working outside or whatever. That this guy would come by every so often and grab a handful of instant mashed potatoes and eat them, and then had to go to the hospital because they expanded in his gut. Not sure if that's true.
That doesn't sound right.
It sounds like a very unclean work facility. Of my dad, the construction worker, had a construction worker friend who walked through a instant mashed potato factory and was just putting his hand into wherever they like. What? That doesn't check out.
Well,
but
also,
again,
like, was he also drinking milk? Because you need to like add milk to that.
Well, it's a
right?
liquid inside you.
No.
Also, why would you eat powder? You know what I mean? A lot of things don't check out with this story. But if you've watched the GOG episode exclusive with my father, he's also the guy who's like, oh, I got knocked out. For how long? A week and a half. That's a coma. So I'm sure, with knowing my father, I'm sure he missed a few details in this story. But then again, I was a child at some point when I heard this story. Like in the teens, probably. You know, like a baby. But that's the origin. If I'm lying, I'm dying. I kind of made it up, but it kind of feels like something my father would say. I don't know if he has. Because if he had, if he had, he would have said it since then, and if so, then I would have like been, oh! And like he wouldn't have gotten what that meant. Ladies and gentlemen, this has been. I've held it in an entire show, Kevin.
You were so close.
I can't do it any longer.
You were one sentence
I couldn't do it
away.
any longer. This has been your Kinda Funny AMA for June 2017. Remember, if you support us over on patreon.com/kindafunny. By support, I mean subscribe. We're changing the verbiage. It's a whole long thing. If you subscribe to us over there, you can ask us questions at the beginning of the month like this. Then at the end of the month, a video like this goes live. Everybody has a good time. You get to see your question answered here. You get your name read. And you know a little bit more about me or whoever's up for this. Andy should do one soon. Because nobody knows anything about Andy. The Hispanic heartthrob. He's wormed his way into our hearts and our pants. Until next time, it's been my pleasure to serve you.